I decided to create a new video game with a cute aesthetic and realistic orbital physics. This is Beyond Our Star. Yeah, I'm told, okay? Don't question the blanket. So I started working on this about a month ago, and somehow thought that I'd release this by the beginning of November, which obviously hasn't happened. But it is an idea that I've had for quite a while now, and like a month ago I came up with a really cool idea for the graphics, and basically that gave me an excuse to work on it again. And so I ported a few scripts from the old Unity made version, fixed some stuff here and there, and probably one or two scripts from a raster, and of course made some new scripts to allow this rocket here to be caught by the launch tower. And look at that! It actually works! Then, about an hour or two after I got that far, they tried it in real life. Booster ignition! Whoa! That's all funny, man!
We're now down to 3 Raptor engines.
Yeah, that's normal.
We can see
that's
those
normal.
chopsticks now.
No! Holy shit! Holy shit!
Oh my god, that is...
But that rocket won't be available until like mid to late game, also I'm not going to implement it until then, and also instead you'll like have to... Actually, I should probably explain what this is about. So I've had this idea for a while now, which is pretty much a space agency simulation game with more of a focus on, rather than the building of the rockets, it's more the management and like colonization efforts and stuff, because that's not really an area which has been particularly explored within the genre, so I thought, oh hey, you know what, I can do that. Now it might not be that fun, but you have been assigned as the leader of your nation's space program. There are a few scenarios from which you can spawn based off of different eras of modern history. Here, rival nations and private companies will compete to conquer space, and your job is pretty much just to get there before anyone else. So, beyond that demonstration that I showed before, what else do we need to add? Well, initially there's about 6 main items which I can think of that I need to add before anything else, really. And that is the ability to place buildings, contracts, money, you can get money, the ability to do research, satellites, also maneuvers. Definitely maneuvers are a priority, and if we have those in game, it should be pretty well functioning. So let's get on with things. Oh god, I spent so much time talking. After redoing the appearance of the surface stars to be more correct, this was quite easy to do. Pretty much, by making every building into a resource file, I could easily access the building scene, which could be... Anyways, here you can see it works. Also, if we press this button, the rocket lifts off. Okay, we get it. Yes, we get it. Okay, there's zero reason to launch that many rockets. What are you doing, mate? I also added, like, orbital displays for later use. We'll get back to those in a bit, but I do want to point out the pinpoint accuracy of that circularization button. That's pretty good. We are, however, faced with a small problem, as currently you can construct your infrastructure anywhere. So we could fix that by giving every tile an owner and a selling price, but I am also thinking, since many of the start conditions, well, all of them involve you taking over a pre-existing space program, wouldn't it be more accurate if you already have launch sites available? And also, like, launch pads can be used for multiple vehicles, so I could do it like that as well. Also, the vehicles do need somewhere to be stored. Okay, clearly we have a problem. You see, with this game, I've come in with this idea of like, oh hell yeah, we can do a game based on like the management of the rocket, the space flight agency, and like that would be so cool. But the thing is, I don't know what I'm doing. I cannot emphasize that enough. I have no clue what I'm doing, and basically I completely underestimated how much I need to add. So I'm gonna add some more important stuff. I won't bore you with too many details, and we'll be ready to add some more stuff from there. Capiche? And until then, I'm gonna have to leave you with today's sponsor. Get a load of that joy, eh? Hey, listen here, mate. This game loads of stupid piano ambience as its backing track. See how my other projects, and you'll hear some right bangers, lad. Take this for example. Yeah, now that's the good stuff, lad. Now listen, this kid, he knows there's a bunch of indie developers out there who don't have no time or ideas to make their games music, you know? So, for the reasonable price of 40 American buckaroos, you can give them some work, and you can get some proper bangers, mate. Like this. Or maybe something like this. That's not all. 75 bucks will get you something like this. So, you need some music for your game? Go to his Fiverr page. It's loading M. What's that? What's the M stand for? Mate, it's May. Mate's in the name, lad. Order today. You done? Yeah, mate. Are you? Yeah? Lovely, mate. What you end up adding then? Well, I added roads and stuff pretty much. You build a VAB, build roads from it, to a launch pad, and I mean, that's it, really. Oh, that's great, mate. Makes for a realistic way to move things around. So, how do you build these roads then? Well, that's all quite simple, really. I just build it like everything else and it snaps to the correct location. And what about the rockets? How do you build those? Oh, you just click on the VAB and then do the whole building a rocket thing. Then when you get a contract or want to perform a test launch, you can roll it out and fire it off. Oh, good job, mate. Well, I'd best be off, but you take care of yourself, alright? Will do, yeah. Good lad. Well, that was weird. Anyways, I could keep working on this, but I would actually like to play a video game sometime soon, not just look at pretty pictures. So, let's get down to contracts. Do you like these icons, by the way? I made them myself. I think they're quite nice, to be honest. Anyways, here's my basic layout for what I want displayed when you're looking at an already active contract. This is one idea I've had, but that will definitely require maneuver nodes to execute it. So in order to complete a contract, you have to complete specific tasks. I needed to sort of take a bunch of contract ideas I had, and find out what tasks need to be completed for them, sort of be complete, you know? And so, with that, I created several resource strips to provide those needed attributes. Finally, I created a menu to allow players to select specific contracts, and then, for milestones at least, added the things I needed to complete them. But so far these contracts are more so milestones, you know, reaching space, reaching orbit. We want to launch actual payloads, and to do that, we need I just used the cube for the model. Don't say anything, I'm prototyping right now, leave me be. So what I did here is added a drop down in the VAB to sort of mount payloads to a launch vehicle. And I of course added all the references needed to ensure the contract knows which payloads have completed which criteria. And it works! And better yet, you can have multiple payloads for a single contract. Ooh, this is starting to get interesting now. But there is one issue. We can't modify our orbit. That requires maneuver nodes. And so, we're gonna have to add maneuver nodes, which is... I'm gonna be honest, this is one of the main reasons why I haven't been able to upload this on time. This took a lot longer than I thought it would. But the good thing is, a lot of this stuff for like creating the maneuver nodes, I'm going to share that code with Arezda. So what this is doing is not only helping me develop this game, but also develop Arezda and the larger ships for Arezda. Also, do you like these weather effects I added to Arezda? I think they're quite nice, to be honest. Still a bit work in progress, but... And on top of all of that, I do want the planets to be able to rotate. I just copy-pasted that from Arezda's code again. Anyways, it's time to add a maneuver tool. For this, I created this menu with 5... whatever this button's called, I have no idea what... in order to modify the parameters of a maneuver node. Anyways, here you can see it working. Although there's no actual orbit data display yet, but I quickly remedied this. And then finally, for a few final additions, which took way longer than it should have, I added the utilities which would allow you to create inclination change maneuvers and Hoffman transfers maneuvers, which are both to a specific altitude in the arbitrary units that I use in the game, and for a specific orbital period in days, tries, which are basically a third of a day and equal 30 minutes, minutes obviously, and seconds. And in order to make sure you don't have to wait the whole hour to reach apogee on a geostationary transfer, I added a time warp function. This was after adding a performance-enhancing secondary movement mode to a spacecraft in an orbit, where forces aren't actually calculated and it instead follows the path of its previously calculated orbit. I'm really over-explaining this actually, aren't you? None of you give a shit. And so, at long last, it was time for me to test. So, I started by accepting the contract and building the 3 launch vehicles, and soon enough, the first launch was soon out on Launchpad 2. Next, liftoff and circularization. I immediately created a maneuver to set the inclination to 0. Next, I time warped to 1 hour later and launched the second satellite. I of course corrected the inclination, and I repeated that same method with the third satellite. And so, on each of them I set a Hoffman transfer for an orbit of period 1 day. However, this burn time was quite short, and that sort of led to a slightly inaccurate execution of the maneuver node, so I did have to manually adjust during circularization. And there we... oh, for fuck's sake, it didn't even complete. Hang on, let me just... oh, that's even worse. I used the wrong variable here. Shit. Well, we can get back to all of that later, because we still need to add a few things, such as the rocket boosters being destroyed when impacting the ocean. And I also updated the method of launching rockets. You can now actually set a countdown, which is nice. And, well, let's just say that all took a lot longer than I expected. And, actually, remember that launch from the beginning of the video? Well, it's been a month, and not only is a man funding the company slowly shaping up to be the IRL Emperor Palpatine, but that rocket launched again! And ditched in the open like an absolute f***ing buzzkill. I'm gonna play the buzzkill music. That landing footage was epic though. Hell yeah! Now we're vibing! Oh, okay, here we go. Anyway, so, basically, well, I know I did just say that we would get back to repeating that launch, but honestly, I've actually done a ton of work since then, hoping I could get it done in time for this, but I really couldn't. Basically, this is going to be a 2-parter. You'll have to wait for the second part in 5 years, probably. We will still have 4 things to do until that point. That is, add money, research for technologies, actual generating of contracts, and actual satellite models which can be launched. So yeah, those are gonna have to wait for the next time. But I can say things are going pretty smoothly with development so far, and yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing working on it. And until then, I'll catch you lot next time. This bit's so awkward. I swear my outro is so lazy. Why can't it just do it? Why can't it just happen now?